All to your Danville City Commission meeting today. Today is a regular meeting. The date is Monday, July the 28th, 2025. The time is just about 4:30 p.m., so I want to call us to order. And on our agenda, we're going to start off with a prayer and a pledge of allegiance today. But instead of a prayer, I'd like to ask you all to just a moment of silence out of respect for the recent tragedies in our community and in our country, especially those who are related to the heat that we're having throughout this country. There have been lots of unexpected deaths due to heat-related incidents. One very special related to a 5-year-old child. So if you would. Thank you all. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No, the 5-year-old, 6-year-old young man was not in our community, but news got to me, and I'm an educator, so it always sort of upsets me when I hear about the untimely death of a young child. Next on our agenda this afternoon is that we're going to ask the commission to approve the agenda as was presented. So the chair would like to entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll move to approve the agenda for the meeting on 7/14/25 as presented.
Second.
Yeah, that's a date. Thank you all. Any questions? Yeah, seems the minutes are dated the 14th of July. Any additions, corrections? Any other comments? If not, chair calls for the question. All those in favor of approving our agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, our agenda is approved. Next on our agenda is our first opportunity to hear from our citizens, the public, tonight. At this stage, we hear from the public only about items that are on the printed agenda. Hope you picked up a copy from outside as you arrived this afternoon. So is there anyone desiring to speak to us about items that are on our agenda at this time? There will be another opportunity to speak to the commission, hear the public about things that are not on our agenda. So anyone willing to speak to us about items on the agenda? Hearing none, then I'd like to move us right along then. Next item is approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of July the 14th as presented.
Thank you, ma'am.
Second.
Thank you, ma'am. Any corrections, additions, or deletions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Commissioner Holland, I apologize to you. I probably said approve the minutes instead of saying approve the agenda.
I was skipping.
One of us did, but it's, we corrected ourselves. I appreciate that. Next on our agenda is an update from the CVB. Mr. Kendall Clinton, you want to come forward?
Good afternoon. Left you all some handouts for a couple things we've been working on. First one is the annual economic impact figures that the Kentucky Department of Tourism puts together for us. As expected, we saw an increase in 2024 over our 2023 numbers, which was an increase over 22, which was an increase over 21. So we've had 4 years of continued growth in the 4 measures of economic impact for tourism for Boyle County. There's a company called Tourism Economics that does this study. They use a number of different data points, everything from Visa credit card data to census figures to come up with this information. So for 2024, Boyle County, the numbers show that it had 696 jobs, up from 628 jobs in 2021 that were directly supported by tourism. That contributed $19.8 million in labor income, which is up from $16 million in 2021. collection of $6.6 million in state and local taxes, which that's a $1 million increase from 2021, and an overall economic impact of $83.5 million, which is a $12 million increase from 2021. Locally, we've seen a corresponding increase in our transient room tax collection, so that matches up with the numbers the state provided us. So nothing but good news here for us, and hopefully we'll continue our transient room tax collection increase next year with the opening of the Home 2 Suites. That's going to help give us some relief on our room occupancy. Sometimes we have weekends when you just can't get a room in Danville, so having those extra rooms is going to help with that, and then like I said, also help us with our revenue from visitors. To keep all those numbers high for 25 and going into 26, I'll tell you about what we're doing marketing-wise for the next fiscal year. As part of our budget, we've got about $160,000 included for various advertising and marketing campaigns. The bulk of that will be spent with our agency, Balance Creative, to do a combination of print ads in magazines in Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, and Tennessee, as well as ad in Southern Living, some custom emails and digital ads through the Kentucky Department of Tourism. We've driven some streaming ads that will pop up on people's phones in certain markets when they're just sitting there scrolling on their phones. They'll have digital ads that they'll see for Danville and Boyle County. And we're doing a month-long digital billboard campaign that will appear in Nashville, Indianapolis, and Cincinnati, which I think is in March of 2026. So that's all part of that $125,000 spend with them. We have an additional $34,000 budgeted that goes to our grant program. So the CVB board receives grant applications and gives funding to events like the Balloon Festival coming up, Brass Band Festival. During last week's meeting, they awarded $12,000 in sponsorships to 5 different groups that are all having events coming up this fall. We're also spending money on local social media promotions through our social media platforms. We're doing new photography this year to supplement what we had a couple years ago, so we're spending about $4,000 on that. We'll be doing $5,000 for search engine marketing, which we've not done in the past, so that's something new for us. And we're spending about $4,000 on brand new brochures, which you have a copy of, that just came in the mail today. This is a replacement for a brochure that dates back to 2017 that we just kept updating as needed. This is a brand new brochure. It's a little more streamlined, saving us some money on the production costs, but also on shipping and individual mailing. We've got about 2,500 requests right now for this brochure that we'll send out this week, and then we'll send boxes to all the welcome centers in Kentucky to get them restocked on those.
I was going to ask you, how we get in, like, the welcome centers as you cross in the state line? So we just mail it to them and then
Yeah, we can.
hope they put it out?
UPS will send them to the 7 welcome centers for us. We just get it pre-approved by the State Department of Tourism. The rest stops are managed by AdRack, so we don't use that because we have to pay AdRack to stock the
Gotcha.
rest stops.
Gotcha.
We do also put them in the Berea Artisan Center, and then a number of other places. Some state parks let us stock our brochures there, other tourism offices that we partner with. So a lot of places will have this brochure. Along with what we're doing to attract new visitors to Danville, we're also working with the DBCDC to guide them a bit when they get here outside of Danville. Remember last year we had the wayfinding signs that were put up in Perryville. So we're partnering with the DBCDC again to do wayfinding signs down in Junction City. We've got the permit from the State Department of Transportation to do that. So I think the next step is going to be bidding those out and then hopefully getting that awarded. I've still got to talk to JJ about that, but that's moving along nicely. Let's see, we've also been making some efforts to gain Danville some statewide and nationwide recognition through a couple of Best Of contests. Danville had 2 finalists for Best Of in the Kentucky Living Contest, Burke's Bakery and Sweets by Cindy. They'll be announcing the winners on August the 13th. Food is a big component in travel. People make decisions on where they go a lot of times on the food they see in different advertising. So if we can have the best bakery or best sweet shop, that's something we can use to market our community. And I also found out Danville is in, I think, at least 3 different categories on Southern Living's the South's Best 2026 contest. They're taking votes right now on our website, so if you go through there, you can see Danville listed in several places for best small town, best college town in Kentucky. Again, that doesn't cost us anything, but the ability to use that to market Danville, if we win any of those categories, really helps us a lot. So you just have to go to their website and search for the South's Best 2026, and then the contest page pops up. Along with that, we got several events coming up in the next few weeks that have a tourism draw. The Downtown Downbeat concert for Thursday is coming up next week on August the 7th. J.D. Shelburne's coming back for the second year. That'll be at Weisiger Park from 7 to 9. There'll be an opening act at 6 at Constitution Square. That same day is the first day of the 127 yard sale. This year, I did not see any major stops in Boyle County on there, but there will still be several individual smaller stops, so we'll see traffic from that for sure. August 8th through 9th is the Sola 2nd Street. They'll have an event at the showroom on Friday night and then Constitution Square on Saturday. Balloons Over the Bluegrass is back for the second year on Sunday, August 24th. Had a huge crowd last year, so if the weather's nice, expect more of the same for this year. Constitution Square Festival is Saturday, September the 13th from 9 to 5. And finally, the Bourbon Chase with their 3,000 runners will hit downtown Danville the afternoon and evening of Friday, October the 3rd. I've already been in touch with the race organizers about that to get some things moving there. And they'll be back in town probably about a month out, so we'll gather everybody who's involved in that to make sure they have everything they need to make the race a good event again this year.
Thank you, sir.
That's it.
Any questions? Mr.
Thank you for all the information, and there's a lot going on, it looks like.
Just amazing to hear Danville folks say, nothing going on, nothing for me to do, and all these things you just identified, everyone
There's
else
always
is free.
something to do.
Yeah, there's always something going on. Wow.
Every weekend.
Yes.
The balloons over the Bluegrass, is that at the airport?
It's at the airport.
Okay.
And Junction City Matters has taken that event over. That's now their
Great.
baby.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
I like the new pamphlet,
Yeah,
or
thank
the
you.
brochure too.
That was
That
designed
other
by
one was-
Brandon Long.
So
The other
each,
one's getting a little age on it. I mean, even though you updated
Yep.
it, it still looked the same.
so each QR code has something different if you.
Each
or is it
QR
just
code
that-
goes to a different page on our
Right,
website.
That's what it says.
The problem with the old brochure is we had so much detail in there that every 6 months, when you had restaurants opening, closing, businesses, things like that, it got out of date real quick. So we keep our website pretty up to date, and the QR code will take you to the restaurant page or the shopping page, things like that, so that you have the most up-to-date information.
Wow, that's neat. Any other questions or comments?
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Next up is Mr. Warren with an IT update.
They let you out about, what, every 3 months or so?
Something like that,
Let
yeah.
your hair out.
Thank you, Mayor. Wanted to get started by introducing our new network administrator, Brandon Million. He's been with us, about 6 months now? He comes to us from the private sector. He's got about 9 years of experience in IT and managing specifically network administration. So
He's been in the basement for 9 months?
we thought we would let him out. It's been
Let
6
him out
months,
there?
you know.
Okay, all right.
So,
Appreciate
but,
that.
We're really glad to have him join the team, so we just wanted to give him an introduction.
Yes.
Thank you. Glad to have you.
We spoke, I guess, back in budget presentations about the Windows 11 migration that's coming up in October. We had 210 PCs. We had it upgraded. We have 190 done. The additional 20 are on ordered, and we expect to have those in this week. So we should have provisioning done within the next week or so. So about 3 months to spare before the deadline. So, additionally, we're working on rolling out Ring Central, which is the new citywide phone system that we've discussed in the past. We've got 3 sites completely done, Public Works and the 2 treatment plants. We have 5 in progress. Phones and licenses have been ordered and the configuration has begun. Those are the parking garage, meter shop, fire station 1, Bunny Davis, and Jenny Rogers. We have 2 locations. I thought I had it up far enough. Is that better? Okay. We've recently ordered some new backup servers. These are appliances that we back up everything to before it goes to an offsite. So 2 of those coming in. We've increased the storage and the system resources in those, and we'll be putting those at 2 separate facilities throughout town to get some separation. We mentioned during the budgeting process that we're going to be upgrading our M365 licensing, which is the Microsoft 365, to include Intra, which is a new cloud-based identity provider, to bring all of our identity control under one platform instead of having it in multiple areas. Additionally, Intune, which is a device management and provisioning system, and Purview, which is a data security, governance, and compliance system. The licensing has been upgraded. In addition to that, we've got something that had been requested in the past, which is email encryption is now available to all of the staff. We've set up Intune as our primary MDM authority, so all of our new devices will be going under that for provisioning and endpoint security configuration. Excuse me. We have begun setup of something called a Windows Defender connection. Windows Defender is the antivirus that's built into all Windows PCs. We utilize that in the internal firewall to, this connector works in conjunction with our endpoint management system, which is a more robust antivirus, anti-malware, anti-ransomware suite, so that we can use them. They're not fighting against each other, they work together. Additionally, we've been setting up Autopilot. Autopilot will work with Intune. It's going to allow for automated provisioning of new systems, automated software install, automated security policy provisioning, and as well as group policies. This will significantly reduce the amount of time that our techs spend physically touching new devices and setting them up as they come in. So. We've set up a new protocol called LAPS, which is a local admin password solution. So this, on a monthly basis, creates a new random authoritative username and password on our local machines. In the past, when a new machine comes in, you set it once, and it stays there and forever, and as staff change out, unless you go touch every machine, it never gets changed. So this new system it'll roll that password and username to a new one every month on each of the machines. Additionally, we've been configuring what's called universal print. So this will work with the Intranet ID or Intra ID to automatically make print resources, printers, copiers, scanners available to staff without them having to go in and add them in. So it's set based on the user and the department they're in. And then we've begun work on our baseline security policies. We use a benchmark playbook that's provided to us by the Centers for Internet Security. So we're working our way through that. It's about a 2,000-page manual. So it's going to be a little bit of a process, but we're making good headroom on it. You should have in your packet a little quick brochure I put together for MSISAC. MSISAC is a multi-state information sharing and analysis center. It's a program that's available for free to all state, local, tribal governments. They provide a various array of tools and resources, primarily vulnerability assessments. I think something we use is called malicious IP and domain blocking. So they send us a list weekly of new websites that are known to be malicious that we get loaded into our routers and prevent access to those systems. We also get their cybersecurity advisories. On the second page, you can see a sample of what one of those looks like. Excuse me. Additionally, they have monthly webinar training that's available to all of our staff, as well as several other programs. I won't go through them all there. They're all in here. If there's any you have a specific question on, I'll be glad to go into it further. And finally, upcoming tasks for us, we'll continue to work on configuration of the security policies based off of the benchmark playbook that I discussed earlier. We're working on custom application deployments. So those would be in-house apps that we deploy via our automated provisioning system. Configuring file sharing and data migration of existing data into the Intra ID system. And then additionally, we've got to migrate all of our iOS devices, your iPads, your phones, into the new system from the current MDM. So that'll be a fairly labor-intensive process, but it's a one-time thing. So. And then we'll begin working on conditional access policies for devices. So it essentially sets based off who they are, what department they're in, what they're allowed to access, and what they're not. So we don't have to configure that individually every time. It's a policy that's set one time, and it applies to the user no matter what device they're using.
Makes sense. There's how many of you? 4?
I'm sorry?
There's 4 of you?
There's 4 of us, myself, an administrator, and 2 technicians. For the whole city, yes. And that's why we're really working to try to automate as much as we can.
Yes.
Remote work's going to continue to get more and more popular, so anything
like
we can do to,
Just the cybersecurity end of it is,
well, I
we
think,
had that little glitch and we thought
as
it's an
we
immediate
grow,
fix it.
we will get to the point that we probably need a security officer that would be kind of like almost work in conjunction with the network administrator. There would be 2 of them, essentially, one that focuses on the network side, one that focuses on the security side.
Wow.
But I think we're still just a little bit away from that. So,
Appreciate it, Jay.
That's amazing.
You and everybody else.
that was a lot I threw at you. If you've got any
Yeah,
questions,
well,
let me
see,
know.
that's a good thing about Friday afternoon, when they shoot all this stuff to us, they give us,
Yeah,
you
a
know,
little bit of heads
Super
up,
Bowl's
yeah.
over with, so we have plenty of time to look at it this weekend.
Entertaining reading, huh?
That's right.
But I appreciate you giving us an
Wow.
update. I'm glad
Yeah.
that they've come, he's come
Well,
to.
the purpose was to talk about a little bit about cybersecurity, and I wanted to make sure that he had the floor to do that. We have what I consider a very good IT department. All the staff that we got, we're fortunate to have, and they are very quick to educate themselves as they see problems. But in lieu of some of the threats that we've seen, that you all have been made passively aware of with email, for example, and all those things, we want to emphasize security for you guys as well, because you guys can be exposed and as much as anybody, and the public generally at large, and we want to communicate that we are trying, we are making an effort to be secure, and we wanted to make sure you had the floor to talk about that a little bit. We normally don't ask IT to give a lot of department updates because it's so exhilarating, but we do want to give you the floor to talk about any questions you got related to our IT security.
And you may be aware, but we also, working with HR this year, have started mandatory cybersecurity training for all employees.
That's good.
And that'll be a yearly recurring training.
Well, it's constantly changing, and it's just amazing
It
that
is.
you and your department are able to keep.
And that's
our
why I say, I
cities
think we'll
covered.
eventually get to the
Yeah.
point that we will need a security
Yeah.
officer to keep up with it, because it changes daily. We get, I don't know, Brandon, what do you think, 3 or 4 CVEs a day, common vulnerability and exploit notifications a day? And it's just,
But you see those coming in?
we get them,
You
yeah,
can-
we get them ahead of time. A lot of them don't apply to us because we don't use the software or the specific
Oh,
server software or the hardware that it's in, but it's good to know about them.
I have one question. Are we .org and .gov?
So we own both.
Because it's confusing for people.
The reason we stuck with .org is because .org had the best search engine optimization. It means it ranked higher in search results on your search engines than the .gov did, because the .gov is just, it's 7 years newer, so it'll catch up in time. We use .gov internally for all of our email and
Right,
the stuff we do. .org to us is just a public-facing domain.
okay.
I think you can eventually get, if you choose to discontinue the .org, but like I say, right now, the main reason it was kept was for the search engine optimization that it has.
Okay. But they could find us either way? With
Well, so
both.
if you go to .org or .gov, it automatically reroutes you to .org.
Okay,
Yeah. The only problem we really have a question on occasionally, is really not so much anymore, was email. When we first transitioned, we had a lot of people that still use the .org, but that's few and far between now.
Okay.
So,
Certainly wouldn't want somebody else to get either one of them, so it does.
No, absolutely not.
If nothing else, to hold on to them
Yeah.
both. Right.
and the .gov, nobody else but us can get, but the .org, we renew every 10 years. We renew it for another 10 years. So I think we've got it for until 2029 right now.
I just had been asked, and I didn't know. I said, go
Yeah.
ask Nick. I don't know why we do both, but thank you.
.gov. See .gov. Well, right. Any other questions or comments?
Watch those spam emails.
Beautiful.
Watch replying to those. Same thing on your phone, the text. If you get a text, it's probably somebody trying to rob you.
Yeah.
You know.
Thank you,
That
sir.
it? Thanks.
Thanks.
Great job.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, guys.
He was the original IT person for the city, right?
Trained in-house, back when you had one computer. What are we
Yeah,
gonna do with
right.
this thing, right, Nick?
Computer was as big as this room, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. It's amazing.
Didn't you create our business license? You created the business license software that we still have? Yeah. Yep.
Even Nick's saying, for the love of all cats, come on, replace that stuff.
All right, thank you, Nick, and your department. We have a zone change recommendation up next. Ms. Gray? Welcome again,
Thank you.
planning and zoning.
Yes, good to be here. So yes, I am here to talk about the zone change. So the Planning Commission recommended approval of an amendment to the joint zoning ordinance to approve the GMX LLC site development plan located at 447 South Third Street.
Okay. This would be the location of the, I call them the tiny homes, tiny houses.
Yes, so the motion on the zone change was to approve of the zoning map amendment, adding the condition that the use of the property shall be restricted to that proposed by the applicant, up to 15 tiny houses, in addition to the current services afforded to the existing building. And this recommendation is justified by the housing goal and objective stated on the staff report's 4th page, but, yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Are you all still having issues hearing out there? Well, if you could turn it up back there some, because every time the blower blows in here, I know it gets harder and harder for people to hear, so. But
I'll turn myself. Yeah.
what's that?
I said I'll turn myself.
Well, watch this. Use your outside voice.
All right, okay, yeah. No, I can do that, yeah. No, that's fair, yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm still using my customer service voice, so I'm still working on it.
Okay, Commissioners, the chair is open for a motion to approve this zone change recommendation.
I move that we approve the zone change recommendation as sent to us by the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Oh, okay. Thank you, ma'am. So, it's been properly moved in second, so now we're open for discussion. Any questions or comments?
I guess in the recommendation, how many planning and zoning members were present at this?
There were 6 present, but 2 commissioners abstained from voting due to joint involvement with the Homeless Coalition.
Okay, and then there's how many total on the planning?
8 total,
There was 8, so 2 were missing, 2 recused themselves.
which creates, in recusing themselves, they keep the quorum.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay.
yeah.
So essentially 6 total minus the 2,
Right.
so 4.
Other questions or comments?
Okay, so they're using the family services building and building small homes? Or am I
Family
looking
service
at the
building.
wrong lot?
This is on 447 South Third Street.
Yeah, it's behind the Family Services Building, but that's going to be the central location for operations of the 15 houses. They're going, the Family Service is going to be connected, it's sort of be like the caretakers, is that a good word for it? Or?
It's what, our understanding is that the facility is still going to operate in the way that it is.
Yes,
The zone
yes.
change permits the tiny homes to be located on the property with the operations center.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Give
my
some on-site
understanding.
supervision, yeah.
Yeah, and I think planning and zoning maximize that to 15 units.
Okay. And then during the site plan, you'll look at widening the road and doing the lots and,
I mean, yes, I'll do yes, yeah, do
Okay,
everything.
I'm just verbally saying what I'm going to hear from constituents.
Yes, no,
And a
I
lot of
tot-
people aren't
yeah.
educated, so it's good to say
Say
it.
it on record,
Yeah.
absolutely. I do just want to point out, all of these were decisions made before I started, so I just don't have a lot of background information, but
Okay.
I will have all that information once the site plan hits my
We're gonna
desk.
blame you anyway.
No, that's okay, that's why I got hired.
But citizens can be assured that would all be addressed.
Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
For safety, if
Yes.
the ambulance need to get back there.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And how big is each lot going to be?
I'm so sorry, I don't have that information on me right now. I don't.
But that would be at the next stage?
Yes, yeah.
Is someone
Okay.
from the coalition wanting to address some of these questions?
It's not breaking it out into lots. It's putting 15 structures additionally on that lot, the single lot that exists now. So it's,
Okay.
these are short-term rentals essentially,
Okay, like a multifamily.
similar to that, yeah,
Area,
except
okay.
they're individual units on the property. That's based on the interpretation I got and the text that I've seen, that's what I understand to be true.
Yeah, and the beauty to me is that you have to go through a screening process to get invited to live in one. And while you're living there, you're going to be scrutinized. And then there's a time limit about how long some family can stay there as well, too. I think that's really what's needed as a plan is to get you in there, but also get you self-sufficient to where you can move out and do some things as a independent family unit. You ladies all back there sitting all quiet, y'all know all this stuff. Y'all was, I'm sorry. They don't want to come up to the mic. Other questions or comments? This is a first for our community, and it has the potential to be a great start for us as we continue to address the lack of housing in this city and county.
Yeah.
This will be for city and county residents, not just city residents.
And the location's quite ideal with sidewalks and locations towards grocery and working and
Health department right
even
across the street.
the driving service comes right by there.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a great location. Do you know the size they're looking
I
at
think
of
that might
each?
be in the packets.
Okay, because I didn't see that part, but it's probably in there.
Another good thing about the locations, the health department too, is a part of the whole overall project as well. So there's a lot
And they're
of.
right across the road
Yes, ma'am.
as well.
And United Human Services is part of the project, so a lot of, United Way's a part, it's a lot of neat, it's a great collaboration by our community. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm not. Project.
No, again, I'm sorry, I don't have more information for y'all right now. Yeah, no, I appreciate
Well,
it,
no,
thank
that's
you.
all right. No.
There's nothing wrong with trying to sell it, I don't think. I mean,
Well-
I appreciate the fact we've been talking about this forever.
Yes.
Several groups have been starting things, and we haven't
That's right.
really gone anywhere. I'm glad that somebody is moving this.
Physically,
I think
that's right,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a great thing.
that's right, yeah.
And
Well,
I appreciate the Planning and Zoning Commission to be, just thank them for being proactive and, finding ways to do this, and staff.
Mayor, if I may,
Yes, sir.
I do just want to raise
Who
one
are you? Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry.
technicality
Yes.
that I probably need more than just a moment to react to. But I have just at first blush, a concern about the number of votes for the action that was proposed due to the number of people that were there. A clear majority were there, but then with 2 abstaining. I know a zone change ordinance requires a majority of the body, not those present, but the body, to override a recommendation from the Planning Commission, meaning in our last zone change ordinance, when we had Commissioner Holland abstain or recuse herself, then it would still have taken 3 votes as opposed to just a majority of those present. So I'm wondering, with the 2 abstentions, is a quorum actually there when 2 abstain? I can't say that that's not the case, and I certainly don't want to hold it up for no good reason, but I do have a question about whether quorum was actually held at that meeting with 2 being absent. I don't know if that was addressed at your meeting or not.
I wasn't hired at that point.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got hired the day after, but that would be a good question for Henry Smith,
Yeah,
our
I think we
lead
should, I
counsel.
think we should resolve that matter, but
Okay,
we still have
that's
time.
fine, yeah.
I think we should resolve that matter before we proceed with vote of this body. And you could, well, for the sake of time, I don't know how pressing it is that we proceed tonight, if you know if there's a pressing need.
I mean, I can call Henry and take a break or.
Well, tonight's vote's asking, directing to draft the ordinance.
Tonight's vote would be a motion to accept the recommendation. I'm just questioning, is the recommendation valid without a proper quorum?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can still proceed from a staff perspective of, if that's the inclination of the commission, to draft the ordinance with confirmation that we actually have a valid recommendation based on quorum. That's what you want to. I just don't think we need to vote on it tonight without having that question answered.
Okay. Fair enough.
So we need to remove the motion from the floor? You already have a motion in a second, so you'd get that off the floor, put it
I
back on the
would,
table?
who made the motion? I'm sorry, I didn't have that.
Kevin made the motion.
Then if we can remove the second and then the motion, that would be my recommendation. And then table it.
Table it?
Do you want me to try to get that information tonight or just hold off on it?
I think that's probably going to require a little bit more of a conversation than a quick answer.
Okay.
All right. So we can table it till our next meeting? So the chair needs to entertain a motion then to table.
You got to withdraw your
Withdraw your
second.
second. Withdraw your-
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. It's-
I will withdraw my second.
I will not, no. I will withdraw my motion and wait for the information.
With that
All right.
being said, Mayor, you can entertain a motion to
To
table.
table it, all right. Is there a motion to table this to our next regularly scheduled meeting? We don't have any special meetings, call meetings, I don't think. So is there a motion to table this item?
Yeah, sure. I'll make a motion, we table it.
All right.
until then.
Second.
All right, move in second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Sorry, I mean, I just had
Opposed?
to ask that question on the numbers.
Got
Just,
digit
It's
question?
only four.
Yeah, well, they don't want it approved.
you want to do it right.
And Ms. Gray, can
You
you
wanna
let
do
us know when the next planning commission meeting is, just so we're aware?
Yes. Fourth Wednesday of the month. Next
So-
month.
Next month.
Fourth
Yeah.
Monday.
Fourth
Missed it.
Wednesday.
Fourth
So
Wednesday.
we've missed it this month.
Yes.
They've had it, we missed this
It was
month.
this
Okay.
past week,
Okay,
yeah.
all right,
Mhm.
thank you. The good news, so we'll have direction on that matter at your next meeting, which is prior to the next planning commission meeting. So in the event a cleanup needs to be held at the planning commission, we'll have time to do it.
Okay. All right, Ms. Gray, you're up for the next one.
Yes.
as Well, right?
Yes.
The joint zoning ordinance amendment recommendation from the commission.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so this one is for the planning commission recommends approval of a text amendment to the joint zoning ordinance to state either or may, or, sorry, let me back up a little bit. To add language after both the property owner and the applicant must attend the public hearings to state either or may sign a limited power of attorney in-house to their representative as stated specifically on the attached exhibit. And this is to kind of just ensure that people have representation if they can't come to the meeting.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Is there a motion to this ordinance amendment? And then we'll discuss it.
I'll move to approve the planning commission recommendation to amend the joint zoning ordinance, Article 3.1.6A.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a second?
I'll second for discussion.
Thank you, sir. So, discussion. This one is that if someone has is having a public hearing, I guess.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
in front of planning and zoning, and if I'm the owner, but I can't be there, then Sister Peak over here, who is my legal representative, can speak on my behalf. Yea and nay for me for things in front of planning and zoning.
A question came up before she was hired. If you'll recall, there was one zone change that kicked to you guys without a recommendation from planning and zoning where that was specifically discussed. It's very common in Kentucky especially that engineers represent developers sometimes. at these types of hearings. And so this puts it into writing so that there's clear direction, what is the requirement that we have so that can happen. So in other words, an engineer, we're acknowledging an engineer can represent the owner if there's a power of attorney authorizing that. So this just puts that into the practice into writing. We have done that for a long time. This just puts it into the ordinance.
This has been historically done in Danville County and the majority of jurisdictions throughout the state, other than Lexington,
Yes.
Louisville,
Right.
across the state.
Okay. Other questions or comments?
Well, I just appreciate the Planning Commission for updating this, because it has been traditional that the engineer could represent, and I'm glad to see this update in the new zoning ordinance.
Thank you, ma'am. Other comments? Questions? Hearing none, the chair will call for the question. Roll call vote? Roll call vote on this one? No roll call vote?
Unless you want one.
Do you want
Oh,
to
I
do
thought it
one?
was, oh, I'm sorry. Well, let's do a roll call vote. I thought it required one, but it doesn't. All right, let's do it anyway. Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Cottle,
Welcome back, Ashley.
Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Pete,
Yes.
Mayor Atkins.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Holland.
Yes.
I just wanted to hear from her, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we'll prepare the ordinance to reflect that for your next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
And you used up all your credits for saying, that was before I got here, right? All right, let's move along. Next on the agenda is our city manager with resolution 2025-07-2801 FFA grant acceptance. Mr. Coffey?
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Recall the city manager report on the 23rd of June. We had to do, we brought the airport grant to you and had you all pass and authorize the signatures. At the time, we talked about having 2 grants. On page 5 of the handout that I sent you, there's the outline of the budget for what is highlighted as the new hangar construction. If you'll recall, the airport board indicated there's 2 grants that's going to fund that. Because of the schedule that was required for the signature, we brought that without a resolution to that agenda on the 23rd. So when talking through it with the city attorney, now that we've gotten the other grant in last week, the grant numbers 321-012-035, 2025. So now that we have both grants officially, what the city attorney and I talked about was go ahead and, for the record, clearing up with a resolution authorizing the signature, although you all previously given permission to sign at that June 23rd meeting. The resolution reaffirms that that's what direction you all took, and it authorizes by name and number those 2 grants, specifically project numbers 321-012-034-25 and 321-012-035-25. Both of those require a local match that you've budgeted for, and those are to support the construction of a new airport hangar. The FAA portion's $372,000, the state's $19.6 thousand. The city and county split at $9,800 each.
Thank you, sir. I need a motion.
Motion to approve resolution 2025-07-2801.
Thank you, ma'am.
Second.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions to the city manager about these 2? It's just a little cleaning up paperwork, but any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving this resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you all. Mr. Coffey, the city manager report is next on the agenda.
Thank you. We'll try not to take too long. The dates, we've pointed out, thanks Kendall for citing a couple of those, the balloons over the bluegrass, for example. Melanie has given me the dates for the small business workshops that are going to be at Centerworks on those dates that are attached, the 12th, 14th, 19th, 21st, and 26th of August at Centerworks, beginning at 8 a.m. The regular commission meetings are on there. The next thing that we want to make sure we mention is the Early Childhood Learning Center. We've met with the schools and we're working through the disposition of that lease. We are also have drafted a preliminary RFP. We appreciate Josh and some of the support we've gotten from the early childhood development folks in the community that has supported that effort. So we expect to be able to issue that RFP. We put the draft in your packet last time. We've cleaned that up. I think he will publish that. I want to say that in the next, when are you going to do that? What's your schedule?
We're trying to advertise that this weekend,
That's
this coming
what I
up
thought you
weekend.
were doing, yeah.
So
That's
next
why-
weekend at the latest.
Yeah, yeah. So that's forthcoming, and then we'll push that forward. I wanted to make sure we mention it to you to keep it on your radar. The community participation, we attached the list that the city clerk had put together in December of 2024. There's been a couple of appointments since she hand wrote on this. The purpose of this is for me to put these into your all's focus. These are your committees. I want to talk about those. We're going to be sitting down with the mayor. Some of these need to be re-energized. Some of these are necessarily trying to turn over just where folks are wanting to roll off committees and things like that. So look at these committees when you think about them. If you think of folks that need to be engaged, if you see a committee that you think needs to be more active, that you need to hear from on a more regular basis, things like that. This was just more of a 10,000-foot view of the committees, which is why we just printed the list for you. Saying that, for example, beautification committee, we don't necessarily like to make all the decisions tied to flowers. We like to lean in on the beautification committee. That has been historically a very important committee for staff to lean in on. It's important for us that committee sustains. That's an easy one for me to point to, that we need to make sure that all those members are energized, all those members are present. We appreciate Ms. Hamner's work back there in the back, and I know she's been heavily involved for a long time. But we certainly want that legacy of that committee to continue, as well as the other committees. So we're just simply pointing that out and raising awareness of those committees, and anyone who wants to serve can certainly put your name in the hat. And like I said, we'll talk about that with the mayor in the coming weeks. Would like to again point out that the audit is forthcoming. We did get the final on-site, as we talked about last week, and so as we're moving towards August, we expect to have a draft report in the next few weeks, hopefully to share in finished form. Give Melanie credit for the civic engagement series and local government series. I think that wrapped up last week. For me, that was a big success, even though some of them were more attended, some of them were less attended, but overall, I think it sends a good message when you're able to get out in public and talk and provide opportunity to interact with the public. August the 19th is the Kentucky Rural Water Award. If you are interested in going with Marshall on that, if there's one of you that would go, we'd appreciate that if you're in town, because you will get called up on stage, and it is a significant thing for the Rural Water Association. The block grant, we've looked at that. Marshall's done a good job vetting the ideas that we had. It looks like that in the cycle that we're in, we're probably only going to do the one application. The county has volunteered to take the lead on one of those. Of course, we are supporting them with labor, and so we'll let this fall in their category. It doesn't really necessarily matter with who applies, but since the county want to take the lead, we will support them. And this is to do this particular project application supports water growth on the eastern side of the county. And so we'll see how the application process plays out, if we're going to be eligible after we do the income surveys that's required. There's a budget report in your packet. We appreciate the work. That's the month ending June 30th. You can look at that. If you have any questions, come and see us, or shoot us an email or text or something, and we'll try to address your questions as they come. Anything else?
Any questions for the city manager? Wow. Thank you, sir. Next on our agenda is our second Hear the Public opportunity, and folks may raise their hands, be recognized, come to the podium, take 3 minutes or less, and address the commission. We promise to listen, and we also promise not to reply, not to respond back to you, especially if it's something new and that we've never heard of before, but we're open. Yes, ma'am. You've been waiting patiently. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me? I'm going to scoot around this way because I want to see you too. Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak here today about a concern of mine. My name is Patricia Gailey, and I am the president of an organization called Abolish Slavery Kentucky. We are a 501c3 organization dedicated to educating Kentuckians about the fact that slavery is still legal here in our state for people who are convicted of a crime. Slavery and involuntary servitude are crimes against humanity, and what is happening is, in fact, affecting not just people who are convicted of a crime, but their families and communities also. All of us are affected by this. We can change it. We can amend the Constitution by striking that exception clause. Right now, our Constitution reads that slavery and involuntary servitude in this state are prohibited except as punishment for a crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted. We've had legislation for 2 years now that has got stuck and died in committee. We expect to have legislation coming up in the 2026 session, and we hope to bring this to the ballot so that people can have a chance to vote on it. I have a petition here with me today asking our legislative body to give us a chance to vote on it. It's not asking for you to say that slavery is okay or not okay. It's just asking that Kentuckians have an opportunity to vote and say what we want as a body, as a state. I guess I wonder if there are questions, but the next thing that comes to my mind is that as I go around and talk to different people, different organizations have opted to develop a resolution and approve a resolution, which can then be published and further the education across communities and be used to support the legislative efforts. I wonder if Danville City would be interested in that. If you want more information before deciding to do that, we have a website, www.abolishslaveryky.org. It's on this handout. I have more of these. I can pass them around. And the petition is also on the website. I wonder if there's an interest in me coming back and being on the agenda so that I can do a more detailed explanation of what's happening and how it's happening, and to give you maybe a sample resolution for you to consider. So I know you're not supposed to respond to me right now, but I'm just going to throw that out there.
Mayor,
And-
that's 3 minutes.
All right.
Yep, I was just done. Thank you.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
think in this case, I would like to hear more about it. That's me personally. I don't have to speak for
Speak
the
up so she can hear
commission.
you. At least she can hear you.
No, I was just saying that for me personally, I'd like to hear more about it. I can't speak for the commission, but I would appreciate talking to her further.
So you'd encourage her to meet with the city
Yes,
clerk
or come back
and
and be on the agenda.
get on the
or-
agenda?
Mhm.
Okay.
But I didn't say anything.
Now, Mr. Dexter, she asked another question. I'm not going to respond to her, but I'll respond to you.
Yeah, you're certainly free to gather more information. That's your prerogative, Commissioner. Typically, the city does not take positions on these types of matters. They allow them to formulate at the state level and without taking a position on them at the local level. That's been our historical perspective on issues that don't originate here within the city.
Okay.
We've been asked numerous times to respond to federal issues. international relations issues, and also issues from the state at large for which we have declined on that basis. So I say that just for some historical reference. You're certainly free, though, Commissioner, to gather whatever information you would like to on a personal level. But our position would be, from a staff perspective, that we tend not to take those types of positions as a collective body.
As individually elected members of this body.
Absolutely. An individual commissioner can make their own position on those types of issues, but as a legislative body, we tend not to venture outside of our home rule authority.
Yes. Okay. Other questions or comments? You have a petition with you tonight, ma'am? I do. Well, if you feel comfortable about waiting until the meeting's over, you might get some folks that will sign it. I see about 8 or 9 of them back there just eagerly waiting, but yeah, they sort of stand out there. Okay, thank you, ma'am, for that presentation. Next is commissioner updates and comments.
Mayor, we still have a few that want to speak.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were on the list, okay. Be careful what list you get on around here.
Okay. There are some concerned citizens here. Can you hear me? That have.
Ma'am, tell us your name, please.
Deborah Mills.
Okay, Ms. Mills, all right.
We have found out that law enforcement, in their routine stoppings, are looking up the driver's, the tag, the social security number, and the other number, which pertains to our immigrant friends, and that they are detaining people from this information. And we are here to ask if this is true and why are they doing it?
Oh, well, great question.
Yes?
First I've heard about it, but that didn't mean anything. I'm not
Okay.
on social media, so I probably don't hear a lot of
Okay.
things, but okay.
Well, could
Well-
we get maybe an answer by the next meeting?
I think there's 2 things I would direct you to do.
Mayor, I would just interject in that, as matters of law enforcement, we have no understanding of what may or may not have transpired or what may or may not be available to the public at this time. So I would caution you and the commission from making any public comment on that. Staff can certainly look into that matter on an individual level, but that's not something we can address from a city
Yeah,
perspective.
my thing was I was gonna
We
just,
can't find out at another meeting? No one can give us
No,
that
ma'am, not unless it
information?
addresses you specifically. Any law enforcement item specifically would not be available for that type of public inspection.
Yes, specifically in Danville
specifically
and
the
Bull
Danville
County.
Police Department.
In Bull County.
Stephen, what was the
So-
allegation? I could not hear that.
Chief, I think we should address it probably post-commission meeting. That's okay. Thank you.
All right. That's our chief of police back there, so he's now aware of it as well, so.
I'm sorry?
Our chief of police and our city attorney are going to try to address the issue.
Okay, so we'll find out at another commission meeting?
No, there will likely be no further public comment regarding that matter from the commission standpoint.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Are you on? Mr. Mayor? Yes, sir. Are you on the list? Yes. All right. Yes, sir. Come on. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Carl Beckman here, former longtime Danville resident. I'm out in the county now. Greetings, good to see commissioners, mayor, staff, and members of the public. I'd like to compliment the city on inserting this flyer into the sewer bill. The newspaper does a good job on keeping us up to date as to what is going on in Danville. This was very informative. I'd also like to say that the banners on the light poles here in Danville are very nice. You might consider honoring the veterans, the individual veterans' names on the banners. The city of Newport, Kentucky was able to do this without any increased cost to the taxpayer. One other concern that I have is the speed humps that are being installed in Danville and the Hunt Farm. I believe that they slow down, number one, they slow down emergency vehicle response. Two, they make snow removal difficult. They are hard on vehicle suspension systems. Four, SUVs do not have to slow down as much as small compact cars such as Priuses. Five, they divide neighborhoods. In example, installing them between a predominantly black neighborhood and a white neighborhood is concerning. I know that the reason why they're being installed is to slow down drivers, but image is everything these days. They also interfere with number six, they also interfere with the driver's constitutional right to travel freely without constraints on a public road at the speed limit, which was set by the government. I would also like to point out, it was nice to see in the newspaper that there is going to be a public meeting regarding the Water Commission that they're discussing, and that is going to include the city of Danville. That meeting is going to be held on August 5th here at Danville City Hall, and I would encourage all residents of all the cities to show up and give valuable input as to their opinion on that matter. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I guess I should say welcome back. Always good to see you. Anyone else on the list? She's not on the list. Are you on the list?
I'm not on the list, but I have a follow-up question to what just happened, if I could be allowed.
I'm afraid if I start that, I'm going to open up Pandora's box. We've tried to have a list because it brings about more order to our meetings. You haven't been to visit us here lately, so if you intend to speak to us during the second here, the public, we're requiring citizens to sign up. All right?
I didn't know I had a question until I just heard what just happened, so.
I will ask you a question to him after the meeting. He'll answer it for you. Oh, just joking. Okay. Now, let's go on then. Other folks on the list? That's it? All right, thank you, ma'am. Now I'm ready for commissioner updates and comments.
Like the citizen mentioned, I have had numerous, Marshall's not here, but I've had numerous people complimenting the newsletter. So thank you to everyone that's.
While Marshall does a great job, I do want to point out that is Miss Melanie Crossfield, 100%.
Thank you, Miss Melanie, for putting that in the water bills. And I mean, I've been hearing 2 thank yous a day. So thank you. The citizens are really appreciating it.
Yeah.
It's just the newsletter, but it's what's in the newsletter that makes it worthy. So she does a good job with the content as much as anybody.
And several people like it, they keep it, and then they know what's going on all month. So thank you. And big thank you to Roche with the back-to-school bash. It really helped our local children. And thank you to all the volunteers and sponsors. It was such a great event, a lot of freebies, and it really helped our kids out to have what they needed before school and have a lot of fun, free of charge. So thank you to Mr. Roche that was at Millennium Park.
The organization is called Don't Sleep.
Yep.
The sponsoring organization, along with the Fiscal Court and what is Kiwanis Club, several sponsors. The city was not a sponsor of it this time. That was good, though, because that means the citizens in the city didn't have to double dip this time, right? Anytime they do something countywide and the county assists in the funding, I always remind folks that all of our citizens in the city also live in the county and contribute to what they do at the courthouse. So we were represented. I was there in the sun, but it was good. Other comments from the commissioners? He just about covered everything on my list, didn't he? The Miss Danville contest is when?
That's this
Friday or Saturday? This Saturday?
Miss Distinguished, whatever name, but yeah.
Miss, what?
It's the youth leadership group that's having and it had an event this weekend. What's it called? Danville Young Woman. And it's through the school systems, though. School systems.
Okay.
Mayor, we would like to point out that we do have the email newsletter too. If you go to the website, you can sign up to receive that and you get more frequent updates and whatnot.
I do want to say thanks to Parks and Rec again for the day camp. I've heard so many people talk about the day camp and so many more saying, I wish you could make it bigger next year because there's not enough spots. So the kids enjoy it. The pool's always full out there. It's really been full this year.
Yes.
So, but the day,
Water's staying warm. Yeah.
so anyway,
But
but the
it's-
day
yeah.
camp, it's been a big success for all the kids here.
And the park is always been used. Other comments and updates from the commissioners? Hearing none, let's move along then. Next item on the agenda is the payment of our bills for this month. Chair will entertain a motion to pay the bills as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills in the amount of $208,477.75.
Thank you, ma'am.
Second.
Any questions, comments, corrections? Hearing none? I didn't realize, I read that number, I thought it was 2 million when I read it. I read the number wrong.
I like this number.
I like the number too, right?
That's a nice number.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's call for the question. All those in favor of paying our bills as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Next items is Resolution 2025-07-2802, sole source purchase. Ms. Compton.
I am helping Mr. Carrier out since he is at a conference today. The water treatment plant is in need of a new TOC analyzer, which is a total organic carbon analyzer, which helps to ensure that the water flow through our GAC filters are only intaking the volume of water necessary that helps us meet our regulatory and water quality targets. That helps to reduce the amount of water coming into the GAC filter, which helps extend the life of that filter, which are very expensive, as we know. Our existing TOC analyzer is it's time for replacement. Due to the nature of the equipment and our GAC filters and the producers of this type of equipment is considered a sole source purchase. And we have a quote within the packet for a total of $44,923.44 that would come from the utility fund. This would be a capital purchase. Technically, we may end up doing a budget amendment at the end of the year. This one technically is not budgeted for the year, but they did come across this need.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a motion?
I move for approval of Resolution 2025-07-2802.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
Thank you, ma'am.
I would like to
Questions or
state
comments?
that I am very impressed.
That I
with
knew what
Lee's
TOC
knowledge
stood
of the
for?
TOC analyzer.
I Googled it before and wrote it down.
Smart lady.
What color is it?
Blue.
Any questions or comments? Thank you, ma'am. Well, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of approval of the TOC analyzer being purchased? Say aye.
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 Those opposed, motion carries. Wow, the next 19 items on the list belong to Mr. Josh Morgan. Josh, you ready?
It'll only feel like 19 items. It's not actually 19 items. First of all, just to say the air conditioning here decided to kick off today, and I'm resetting it every 5 minutes to keep it to come back on again. So I'm trying to cool it down in here, but I know it's pretty warm, so I'll move along pretty quick. So, quick report tonight. Hold on, let me turn on my clicker here. Run through a bunch of quick public works projects. They're getting a lot of work done right now. It's actually dried out enough that we can stay on some projects for more than 1 or 2 days at a time. So projects they've completed the past 3 months, West Lexington sidewalks, which immediately are getting dug up by Atmos Gas, as you all have seen out there on West Lexington. It kind of bums us out, but we know they'll put it back. They've done a good job with the previous ones they've dug up, so they'll put that back in a good place, and we'll be okay moving forward. Then Second and Walnut, the intersection, I got some pictures on the next page of that. That turned out really well. I would love to do that at couple dozen different intersections around downtown, but it's just time and people for us. Currently under construction, they're building a raised crosswalk behind Center's new football stadium and the new indoor facility. Those stairs that came down off of that plaza kind of spit out into Russell Street in a pretty dangerous area where traffic cuts along Roy Arnold and Russell. So we've been meeting with Center for a while now to try to figure out a solution to make that safe. And this is what we've come up with, is doing a raised crosswalk across Russell Street. I think so far it's turned out, I drove over that section. That was a picture from Friday. They had opened that section up this morning. I drove over it this morning, and it drives really well. And it'll make traffic just in that area slow down just a little bit. And it's comfortable enough where trucks and things are going over, and it's not slowing them down too much, but it keeps them from flying through that intersection too quickly, especially with a lot of pedestrian activity in that area. So we're hoping to finish this up either this week or next before they get deep into move-in period for them. Upcoming, man of war at the bypass. Donna sent us a text a couple weeks ago about it when that striping went in.
I meant to say thank you to the state or whoever got that done, because it's a great project. It was needed. The citizens asked for it, so.
Yeah, Rick Henry and I tested it out the other day. You don't have a lot of time to get across there. As soon as the light it turns to walk, it's like, all right, you got 30 seconds. It starts counting down, so you're kind of jogging across. So you can go slowly across there, but it works really well. We're going to build some sidewalk, not very long sidewalks, just access up to those buttons, because right now you're kind of in the ditch as you walk up to hit the buttons. So we're going to kind of build some pads to at least get you there and out of the grass and get you out onto the crosswalk. So that's been a great improvement. And then we're going to move on to sidewalks. We're looking at North Maple up to Cross Hill to get folks into that neighborhood, Quail Manor, near Bob Allen, and kind of ties in that northern end of Jackson Park into Maple Avenue. So that's one of our upcoming projects. And Kentucky Avenue from Lexington to Alta, which is one we've looked at for a while now. That's going to be a little trickier with property access, but we'll try to figure out a way to make that work. So that's kind of our upcoming sidewalk projects. Here's some pictures of Second and Walnut. Just really nice. From an ADA standpoint, those ramps work way better now, and the whole intersection feels safer. And then some other traffic calming projects that we've done. We just completed we did our first asphalt speed humps in-house on Jackson Street next to Danville High School. We've been doing some research on what that profile looks like of an asphalt speed hump, and we built some templates, and they poured those just a couple of weeks ago, and they turned out really well. So we're probably going to look at doing more asphalt speed humps moving forward. One, they're less vulnerable to snow plows and those kind of things. Also, they're much cheaper for the city. And I thought it was going to be a time savings for us to use the ones we install. I thought, we can just go down and bolt them down. But our folks are saying this is actually quicker for us to pour them ourselves. Because the ones that you bolt down take about 1,000 bolts or something. I mean, it's a lot of bolts so they spend days out there, put them down on the pavement. And then we did a few at Tractor Supply. That was our police department reached out to us and said, hey, we have a real issue at Tractor Supply with where pedestrians are crossing. And that's kind of really congested there. That's actually a city street. There was City Manager Earl, when he was city engineer a few years ago, they rerouted that right-of-way up in front of Tractor Supply. So that's actually a city street in that section. So we added some speed humps there just to help out with the safety at that location. And then upcoming, we're going to look at West Walnut. That's on Center's campus, North Fifth, and then Seminole is one that keeps popping up a lot. That's actually on my walking route for my house. So we need to slow folks down in that area as well. So those are kind of upcoming projects we'll look for traffic calming. Drainage projects. We got the new inlet installed there on East Walnut in front of Morley's. That's one that was getting overwhelmed often. Just the inlets were very small, so we've installed a new larger inlet. We did some East Main. We did some ditch regrading out on East Main out towards the end past Hillendale. We've got a few projects upcoming. This is something we need to kind of transition away from into some drainage projects here as we get staffed back up. We've had some turnover a little bit. We got a project out on Brookhaven, out in Streamland, where we've lost the backyards of the houses on Brookhaven, and I can't think of the other street, but their backyards meet in a swell. We've just lost the grade there. We have a lot of erosion, then we have standing water, and then we have erosion, then we have standing water. We need to do some regrading and get that functioning well again. We need to repair some inlets at Lexington and Fourth, and we have a culvert on Swope Drive we need to clean. So there's a lot of upcoming drainage projects. And I've got a whole nother list of things we're just planning right now. We need to put cameras in the pipes and do some planning. So a lot of drainage projects. This wet spring we've had really brought to the surface a lot of issues that, that folks hadn't had in the past. And things they had in the past that happened once a year now happened 4 times in a spring. So now they're really starting to call and say, hey, we need to figure something out here. And then other projects, I've got a picture of the woven wire signage. I'll show you all here in a minute. And then we got some parking lots we need to do. We need to expand Jenny Rogers. We need to build a parking lot of woven wire. And then we're going to add some curbs on Denmark there as you go into 5-star they keep dropping off that edge of pavement and digging that out. And it's made Denmark hard to maintain. I think we add some curbs to make it a little easier on us moving forward. Wayfinding signage. This is a big one. Melanie and I have been meeting quite often on this. What's that? A secret. There's not, she's telling me it needs to be a secret. Our publicity person saying things need to be a secret. So we've got our welcome signs. They are in fabrication. So we're looking at I'd say, I'm going to conservatively say September, October. Does that sound good, Melanie, for when we'll get one installed? And then they'll kind of roll out in stages after that. As they'll put one in, then we'll get another. So it's going to take a few months to get them all 7 installed. But that's kind of
our labor, isn't it, doing the stonework and stuff, or not?
Not with the stonework staying. All we're working on right now is getting the electricity ready. Is the main thing that we're working on, because not all 7 existing signs had electricity. Not all of them were lit, so we're having to add electricity to some of them. So that's something we're working on, making sure we have the right power at each one, those kind of things. So that's the main thing we're doing in the meantime. Like Stanford Road has no power even in that, in that kind of triangle where that sign sits. So we're even we're exploring solar there, just because it would be, tens of thousands of dollars to get, maybe more to get power to it. So we're trying to figure that out, but that's the only thing that's on the city right now. The signs can go up to that, as soon as we can get them fabricated. Phase 2. So Melanie and I met about phase 2. I think it was last week. We sat down and talked about it, and Odile, our intern, she's kind of helping me put the encroachment permit together for that. And we started to do a plan, and then we backed up and went back to the beginning again, which is how we usually do this with the wayfinding signage. But we're working up another plan now, so we need to sit down with Earl sometime and explore that. Then we'll bring that to you all here, hopefully in the next month or so, with more gateway signage. Once we started trying to locate the signs closer into downtown, it's really difficult to find spots for them. I don't know. It's hard. I'm not saying that in a very technical way, but you run into a lot of we could put it here, but nobody's going to see it. We could put it over here, and now it's in the way of this. And if we hang it here, so we're wanting to consolidate more maybe, and get them off of right. I don't know. We've got some ideas that we're going to propose here in the future to maybe streamline that a little bit, and make it a little easier on us, and make it more functional. At the end of the day, we want it to be functional and look cool, which is how we treat each of these projects. Stormwater program, not a lot to update here. Twin Brook Culvert, we opened bids on it next week. Hopefully we'll have those bids to you all to award at the August 11th meeting, and hopefully get a culvert installed this fall is the plan right now. We had the Division of Water came down and audited our stormwater permit last week. Everything went pretty well. We knew we had some areas we needed to work on, but the main areas of concern that I wanted to point out on here are we have to map our entire storm sewer system. So every pipe, every culvert, every inlet has to be mapped. We're pretty far behind on that. They give us 3 years to finish that. So, we're discussing that in-house, how to get that done. We may come back to you all at some point and say, we need a little funding to hire somebody to do this. I hate to do that because I feel like we can do it more effectively in-house because we know our storm sewer system. We bring in an outside company, they're just starting from scratch. But we got to figure out how to get that done in 3 years. And then the other 2 things are something we just need to work on internally. Everything needs to be pollutant specific. So like everything we do has to be related to a pollutant of concern that we have. Our main ones, both Spears Creek and Clark's Run, have a sediment impairment, which means they have too much dirt in them, which goes back to a lot of erosion issues or construction sites and things like that. And then Clark's Run has an E. coli pollutant of concern, which that's, that could come from agriculture, it could come from the sanitary sewer system. So but everything we do has to relate to those pollutants of concern. So as we go into public education, you'll see that be more targeted as we move forward. And then internal operations and maintenance, that's something that they've asked, that it's kind of MCM 6. It's the last one that we have to work on. They dinged us on that a little bit. That we got to do some more internal training, more O&M manuals and those kind of things for our folks. So,
Josh, let's talk about that stormwater mapping for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
We met again last week with the county PVA. Hannah's here. We've talked about some of our mapping in general with Marshall on the utility side. So we're actively, because of the collective, all parties involved, and then this pressure, we have started talking together about, do we have a countywide GIS position again? The years ago we had it, probably needs to be housed with planning and zoning. It would be a new position, but it would be an old position that we had for a little bit, and then the market changed. And now you have legal pressure, like with our permit, to have certain things mapped on schedule. And so just want to put that on your radar. We've not talked about that. That will be something that we may bring up this fall. We'll see. It may also be a budget item for next spring, but I want to make sure we put that on your radar.
yeah, I think
Thanks, Josh.
with the introduction of that position could keep us from having to hire a consultant and pay them $50,000. So I mean, I think initially with initial setup of this, that position will pay for itself, on that. And I think as you go forward, it helps a lot. That's what we talk about with mapping data. It's easy to collect data.
Mm-hmm.
We go out and we can do that all the time. Utilities does that. You can go to a spot and say, there's a manhole here, and click a button, and you've created that data. But how you manage that data on for the county county on in a mapping system is not something we have the skill set to do. We have just a lot of data just everywhere. And if we could have somebody that could organize all that data and keep it cohesive for us, would be a huge deal. So here's some stuff we're contracting out. Boffman Avenue sidewalks is still on the way. We did those right-of-way acquisitions a couple meetings ago. Everything's up at the grant office waiting on their approval. As soon as we get their approval, we will bid that project out and begin. I really wanted to have that done this fall. It's probably getting close now, that it's gonna trickle into the spring. But I've stayed in touch with the folks out there that are, pushing for this the hardest. Ms. Samuels was in here last week and talked to me about it. So keeping them updated to make sure that it's still coming, it's still working on it. We're just getting step by step with the grant. Skywatch at Starbucks, we did that striping last week. Made some changes over the weekend with the delineators, widened out a couple of spots. I was out there today for quite a bit, watching it. It's functioning okay. I think folks are still getting used to it. We may make some tweaks. It's hard to judge it right away because, like I said, people are still getting used to it. So you don't want to make any real snap judgments. But if I continue to see some things happening, if those continue to happen, we may make some changes in the future. We're seeing more backup going north towards the liquor barn than I expected. So we may make a tweak to make that flow a little bit better if we can. So, this is really just how can we make this more comfortable for folks. But I think as over a few weeks, as people get used to it, we'll keep a close eye on it and see how it goes. And then drainage projects we're working on getting contracted out. Dillahay Culvert replacement and South Second Street ditch and sidewalk improvements there, kind of down across from KSD, down towards Fackler, down in that area. That we need to do some work on that. We're trying to contract that out. I think even our contractors that we use with the wet spring that we had got behind, and we're having trouble even getting folks to show up and talk to us about things. The trail system, the lower loop of woven wire that was impacted by the sanitary sewer project, it is fully operational again. We have some signage out there. There's a picture I took that last week of the lower loop. We got some signage and we've got it mowed and cleaned out. And actually, the woven wire is hosting a Kentucky Interscholastic Cycling League event this Saturday. It's for it's actual teams. It's not like open to the public. Like teams from different schools are going to come and participate in this. It's not really a competition. It's more of a fun event for them. But yeah, I think we're expecting, they're saying 150 to 200 kids, and the Trails Alliance has really driven that and helped set that up, and they're getting them here to do that. It's going to be a really nice thing. It's kind of a last-minute relocation from another site. It's usually in Otter Creek out on the Ohio River, and it got flooded back a couple months ago, and so they had to find a new home really quickly, and it's ended up here. So we're excited to be able to host that. And parks projects, so real quickly, these are longer conversations. Tommy talked to you all a little bit about some of this last meeting, but Jeannie Rogers, Earl mentioned earlier, we've got that request for proposals nearly ready to advertise. We've got some folks looking at it this week, probably make some changes, hopefully later this week, and hopefully get that advertised this weekend. Like we talked about last meeting, your selection process is going to linger through August and September, and by the time you get somebody selected, they're not going to be able to open the doors right away. So it's probably going to be, if we could get somebody really ready to open by the end of the year, first of the year, I think would be a great success at this point. Indoor rec, we're still talking to partners, still talking about funding, trying to figure out a way to move that forward. And aquatics, the Bunny Davis has worked well this summer, so it's given us be a little more of a comfort level to think we could keep it running for 3 or 4 more years if during construction. Beyond that, who knows? We have had some issues this year with the coping. The coping has started to crumble on us, the concrete around the edge. We've got to do some patching this next off season, but otherwise it's held up through this season really well. But we still need to find out a long-term solution for aquatics. And then fiscal year 26 capital projects, Tommy mentioned this in his meeting, but I wanted to reiterate it and put it here in the report that, the ball field improvements, William Park furnishings, Jenny Rogers roof, we want to try to get that all that work done this fall. And then skate park and central playground improvements, we're planning those for next spring. But we're already starting the planning on those because we have to get a contractor lined up for next spring. We've already talked to Tommy has talked to skate park contractors that are saying, hey, we're already booking for next spring right now. So if you're going to get an RFP out, it needs to be soon. So we are going to try to get that RFP out here in the next few weeks. And I think that's all I've had. You all have any other questions about anything?
Any questions for Mr. Morgan? Your report?
No, thank you for all the updates. That's helpful. That's a lot of work going on.
Yeah, Public Works they've really knocked out a lot of work the past, month with the dry weather. It's amazing what that does to our timing. We felt like we were out there on West Lexington and either Second and Walnut for so long, but once the weather broke well for us, we were able to just knock out a lot of work. So I appreciate, we're trying to get done earlier in the day right now is all that we're trying to do. It's get as much work as we can done before noon.
All right, sir, you have the next one, cemetery rules and regulation update.
Yeah, and this is more of just informational real quickly. You have in your packet again the comments that we received after the 90-day period on the revised rules and regulations. The cemetery committee met a couple weeks ago and looked at them as well. They would like to have a joint meeting with you all to kind of sit down and discuss all this and come up with a plan. I think I put in your packet here that we've had a lot of negative reaction to removing the grandfather clause, and I think the committee is on board with that now as well. It's like, hey, that maybe we need to have some kind of grandfathering process. And I talked to him last meeting about how, if we ever really want to be able to enforce anything, we need to have maybe it's not maybe we don't grandfather everything in. Maybe there's a process for people to apply for exemptions. Instead of calling it grandfathering, they're applying for an exemption. And that way, there's an active process of us saying what is and isn't okay, what is okay. But I think the things that we need, as a group, need to talk about in that workshop is who makes that decision about what is and isn't okay. And then the other part was, I'm blanking on now the other question I had. We need to decide who's going to decide it. And then we also got to decide what isn't eligible for that. That was the other thing. It's like, I don't want to review an application for every single shepherd's hook. Are we okay with shepherd's hooks or not? If we are okay with them, let's let's create something administratively that handles like shepherd's hooks. There's no reason for the cemetery committee to get an application for 1,000 shepherd hooks. So I think we need to decide what actually falls into that exemption. It's probably statues, benches, things like that, plantings, things that, have been there for a while that we want to look at. But things that are somewhat disposable, which I kind of shepherd's hooks in my mind kind of fall into that disposable, not disposable, but and even like the solar lights, those kind of things, those are really difficult for us to maintain around, and they're more of a transient kind of thing than a bench or a statue would be. So I think those are the two conversations we need to have. Who makes the decisions, and what are we okay? What do we really want to include in those discussions? So that's all I wanted to say about that. And say I'll get with Ashley. We'll try to find a time that you all are all available to have that workshop in August.
Josh, our two female city commissioners volunteered to be the ultimate decision makers about what stage and where it goes. They didn't realize that until just now, but they did volunteer. And then the thing, as I ride around, the shepherd's hook thing to me isn't a major issue if we can identify the proper location for them. If the proper location is behind the headstone and no place else, they're all over the place out there. But the large majority of them are right behind the headstone, and to me, it doesn't create any problems at all. But we got to have that meeting. And I want to reiterate that everyone who turned in a concern, that we're going to reach out and contact them. Yes, you can keep this. No, you cannot. Here's why. Da 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 and da da da. I'm like you. A better word for a better word for grandfathered in.
Yeah.
I don't know what that word is, but I think you like about the word saying you apply for an exception. But yeah, there should be very few things about reasons why you should apply for an exception, though. I think the big issue right now is that there are things out there. We've got to make a decision. This stays. This does not stay.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's these two ladies to sit beside me. You can make the ultimate decision. Y'all did volunteer, right? Voluntoed or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Voluntoed? No, I'm just joking. No. We'll all attend the meeting, though.
Yep.
No, that's going to be a tough one, but it shouldn't be that tough, though. All right, let's go on. Anybody else have any comments on that? All right, second reading of ordinance number 2053, stormwater management fee increase. Madam Clerk, you want to read the ordinance, then we'll entertain a motion, then we'll discuss it.
This is the second reading of ordinance number 2053, an ordinance amending the municipal stormwater management fee schedule in Chapter 6.5 Flood Prevention and Stormwater Management, Article 4 Stormwater Management Fee, Section 6.5 through 56 Rates in the City of Danville Code of Ordinances.
Thank you, ma'am. A point of information, when I asked for a motion from the commission, someone asked me, said, why do they always say they make a motion to approve what's on the agenda? They have the opportunity to make a motion to deny, disapprove. They have a right to make a motion to table it. But the floor is open for a motion on this recommendation. Second reading.
I'll move to approve the second reading of ordinance 2053.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments?
So, could I ask real quick, when's the last time we changed the fee?
We haven't changed the rate since 2008 when it was started. It's been the same since we started.
And that was what price to?
336.
336. Okay. And
Up to,
now it's
375 is the requested change.
Okay. That's not much per year.
total impact, I think, was estimated at $75,000 for the whole community.
Yes.
Other questions or comments? And Madam Clerk, this one requires a roll call vote, right?
Commissioner Peak,
Yes.
Mayor Atkins.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Holland.
Yes.
Commissioner Cottle.
Yes.
I meant to say welcome back, Ashley.
Her new name is Creed.
Creed.
Creed, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, that's her son, her new son's name. Next item is Resolution 2025-07-2803 dash 2025 KYTC CPP grant application. What's all that letter stand for, Josh?
County Priority Projects Program or something like that. I think, yeah, it's, so this is a grant program for cities and counties to apply for funding to pave streets. We requested this last year and did not receive it, so we're re-upping again this year. We're asking for $200,000 to pave Corporate Drive, and we're going to match that with $50,000 if we get it awarded, and that will be funded out of the Municipal Road Aid Fund. This is particularly for projects that benefit economic development. We feel like this is a perfect project for us to request. Corporate Drive is really in need of paving very soon, if not already. So portions of it. So we'd like to go ahead and get that paved. That $250,000, that's traditionally been our annual budget for paving for the whole city. So if we can save ourselves a whole year's budget of paving just one street, to be able to spread that around the community would help us go a long way.
Yes, sir. Yes. My fellow commissioners, what's your pleasure on this one? Is there a motion?
I move that we approve Resolution 2025-07-2803.
Second.
Thank you all. Other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Chief Gray, the next item, Resolution 2025-07-2804.
Mayor and Commissioners, you have a resolution in front of you. It's referenced the 911 center. It's our digital recorder that records all the 911 phone calls and the radio traffic that comes into the police department. It's a yearly service contract. The contract is for $7,643.75. This is with Applied Digital Solutions.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion to approve this purchase?
I'll move to approve Resolution 2025-07-2804.
Thank you, ma'am.
Second.
Thank you, ma'am. Questions or comments to Chief Gray? Hearing none, call for the question. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. I'm looking at you, that's right. No need?
Yes, there is a need for litigation and personnel.
Okay. We've been advised that there's a need for an executive session dealing with litigation and personnel. The time is now 10 after 6. We'll be back before 6:30, right? Oh, he always says it's up to us, right? Yeah, right. Is there a motion to go into executive session? There's a lack for a motion in a second, right?
I make a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel matter pursuant to KRS 61-810-1F and for motion to discuss for litigation for 61-810-1C.
Thank you, ma'am.
I will second to irritate the mayor.
Probably losing second. You know, that's another thing, if they don't make a motion, it dies. We don't have to go into executive session. But I don't know, I can't get them to do anything exciting anymore. Moved in second, all those in favor of going into a brief executive session covering property and personnel? Litigation, what'd you say? What?
Litigation.
Litigation. Personnel. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
Second.
Thank you all. All those in favor of coming out, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. We're back in regular session. Mr. City Manager, you have some items for us.
Yes, sir, thank you. Staff is recommending the reclassification of Mike Galloway to the position of wastewater utility manager.
So moved.
Second.
All right, let's go. I'm sorry, where were we? We have a motion on the floor for,
The reclassification of Mike Galloway to the position of wastewater utility manager.
Got a second as well.
Yeah, we had
for
a
a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Mr. City Manager, what's next?
Thank you. Staff is recommending the reclassification of Andy Tompkins to the position of a water utility manager.
So
Chair has-
moved.
Change the motion, all right.
Second.
Thank you all. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Next one, please.
Staff is recommending the reclassification of Ben Ray to the position of police captain.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you all. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Yes, sir.
Staff is recommending the reclassification of Adam Wilson to the position of police captain.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you all. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'd like to turn the floor over to Commissioner Peak.
Okay. As I highly value the compliance with the ethics ordinance, I would like to publicly announce my recusal from all public and private discussions pertaining to administrative staffing at our fire department since I've become a commissioner, due to the fact that my son is an employee in that department. I haven't participated in fire staffing issues, nor will I in the future, so long as I've been a commissioner, so long as my son remains employed as a firefighter.
Thank you, ma'am. Don't go too far, though. All right, now, Mr. City Manager, you want to continue?
I would. The fire chief, given our knowledge, the fire chief is retiring effective July 31st. We would ask that you appoint Mike McCurdy as the interim fire chief effective August 1st.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you all. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Congratulations to all four of those, 5 of those people, right? Special congratulations from all 5 of them.
Andy's kind of like athlete's foot, man. He just keeps showing back up.
Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.